Hello, everybody. It's another Friday morning into your afternoon, depending on your time zone. And this is Anytime with Ken and Alden. I'm Ken. That's Alden. And I got to fix something on the back end. Take it away.
I am indeed Alden. That is indeed Ken. While he is fixing things, I should be more mindful about saying this more often. Like the video, repost on Blue Sky, on our Instagram. I want y'all to be more active because I should be saying that stuff. I try not to be annoying because everybody finds it a little bit annoying, but you should. You should like
It's where we're at. It works.
Yep.
It works, buddy.
Yeah, Laserbolt's here. Michael McCarsel's here. JMB's here. Looking through the comments. You guys are already discussing Colbert. Yes, that's came out of nowhere as the main story yesterday,
Colbert.
which I instantly went into a rage about, which I am still sort of in a rage about, but we'll see.
I want to hear your rage.
We're also
I want to hear your calm rage.
Disgusting. Yeah, you didn't want me like calling into blathering last night. I refrained because I was just up in arms. I was yelling in the house to anyone that would listen about censorship and you know, really just him. Yeah, he was really the only one that cared. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about the ongoing Epstein list drama. We will also be discussing something that I believe came up on Blathering. I didn't hear it, and I'm glad I didn't because you teased it to me in text, which is you have something to say about Gen Z.
Well, I don't know, dude. I've been choking since I got into the studio today, right? I don't know what's going on.
I have to kill Ken.
I don't know. Yes, we're going to talk about the Gen Z stare, but I didn't plan on it coming up on the Blathering yesterday, and it did. And we had a spirited conversation, but I'm dying to get your take on it.
Okay.
Because you are not Gen Z. You're a young millennial, right? Technically.
The last group, the very last group.
Yeah. And I'm fascinated by it. So yeah, we'll tease that for the end. It's not super important. It's just fascinating. Look at the world.
Eli says Ken doesn't understand us apparently. Yeah, but Eli, in fairness, Ken doesn't understand a lot of his own peers. Ken is an island unto himself.
Eli, I just want you to say hello if you're selling me a burrito. That's it. That's the end of it.
Can't wait for this. Can't wait for this. We'll, of course, also be taking your questions and super chats from the chat here the entire time. Does not need to be related to what we're talking about. Doesn't even really need to be a super chat, although they do help. You know,
they do help.
I bought the AEW pay-per-view the other day, and I thought to myself, hey, like 8 of these matches were paid for via super chat over time. You know, that's
there you go.
That's what you all do for
there
me
you go.
In the long runs. But how are you? I mean, I obviously it's a bleak week, but like individually.
Sure. They're all bleak, right? I'm good, man. I tell you what, I told you this morning, I woke up early, went for a 5-mile walk, had breakfast. I've lived a life. And for me, this is a morning show. For you, it's an afternoon show. But I've been doing that all week. I went for an 8-mile walk on Tuesday. I can't lift weights right now because I hurt my this chronic weird side abdomen strain. Something's going on. I gotta go see a doctor. I got blood work this week, Alden. That was my week. I'm nearly 50. I went and got blood work. And I can't look at the results. I start getting faint when I look at the printed message results of my blood test. Do you experience that?
Well, I have not yet reached blood work age. Not to say I've never had any. Did I ever tell you the story of when I had a cancer scare?
No.
So I'll punt that to 2 minutes from now. But just to focus on your fear, real
okay. I'd rather hear about yours.
I will tell it. But so do you have do you have in general a lot of health related anxiety that like you get? Like,
no, I don't. I think it's something about the insides, right? So I can't see if the doctor's like, all right, well, here's your x-rays. I do this and I can't look at it. And it's not like I'm not like a faint around blood person. If it's everyone else's, like I've been in emergency situations and not a problem. I've had other people's blood all over me in fights, but I'm fine with the needle. I have to look away. But when Alden, this is the test results.
Yeah.
And last night I started getting like, oh, I got the vapors, and I was like, couldn't look at the. So I don't even know if I have good blood.
The vapors.
Oh, I do declare the vapors. I got the vapors, son. Yes.
Like 3 squirrels are holding you up. You're like, this is the big one. This is the big one.
Because I looked at the first couple of results and it was like good stuff. Like my first one I came across was like I'm not pre-diabetic. I'm actually right in the middle. Good stuff. My iron's apparently low, but I don't know what that means because my doctor's not calling me. This is just an automated message, and I have no guidelines on it. So I saw that I was low, or it was in the yellow whenever everything's in the green. I started being like, oh, I couldn't breathe, buddy. I was like, my God, something's going. I need spinach. I guess don't need spinach. I don't know, and it's just really weird. I don't understand.
The idea of you needing spinach is funny to me because it's almost like all of your life's training came back to you from childhood. You were like, what do I know makes you better? A can of spinach. I'll gain strength.
And a corn cob pipe.
I relate to that somewhat. I mean, like nobody likes the sort of, especially because they removed the humanity from it. I think it's worse that the automated voice is telling you some of these things.
Yes.
It just feels way more like clinical and surgical and scary. Like the HAL 9000 is like, your iron is low.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, am I gonna die?
Yeah.
What happens with iron deficiency? I get you. And so what I had said about my cancer care. So in 2016, it was around the time that I met my then girlfriend. Okay. It was like our second date. And we were it's getting a little frisky, and at that moment,
is that what you youngsters call it? We called it boffin'. We were boffin'.
They were doing the sideways polka back in Ken's day, but we are we're less than 10 minutes into the show, so it's like frisky will be the word that I decide to use, and we I was like, let me be a gentleman. Like, let's just call it here. Like, it's still like really early. It's like second date. So I was like, all right, well, and I ended proceedings in a nice way. We move on. And thank goodness that I did. Because when I got back to my place, I walked into my bathroom and I felt like I was going to keel over in pain. And I had this sharp pain right below my belly button. And I was like, what the hell is happening to me? And I'm like, I was like, maybe I'm going to throw up. It's a good thing I took her home and moved on with my life. And then I didn't throw up and I felt like I had to pee, but I couldn't. Okay. And it was like the moment right before you have I stayed right at that peak and nothing was coming out. I could not take a piss. And I'm, again, in sharp pain. So I put my arm up on like my counter and I'm like, oh, and this went on for a long time.
Right. Deep breaths.
And then finally, I'm like trying to use my other hand to like put pressure on my gut because I'm panicked. Like, why can't I pee? And then, it's about to get gross, everybody. About to get gross.
I love this.
Blood shot.
No.
Like shotgun shell sprayed out of me. So I had blood all over my toilet. It was like a whole thing. Some of the blood was not normal
thick blood
consistency. It was thick blood. It was like gelatin blood.
No, I said dick blood.
No, dick blood, but also thick blood. It was crazy. Producer Steve, I'm violating all these HIPAA rights right now. Well, I'm freely disclosing. You're all in the legal. But anyway, make the story quicker. My mom was a nurse for years. Is still technically a nurse. And I went to her and was like, oh my God, this is what's happening, blah, blah, blah. I didn't go to work the next day, went to get some tests done. It was a whole thing. I had all this fear, and the doctor at the time, basically after a couple conversations, was like, had to do the look. I'm gonna level with you. Like, there are some things that it could potentially be that
that's never good.
We would need to have serious discussions about. And one of them, it basically was 3 different kinds of cancer. Like, one was like testicular, one was like liver, all in that sort of like
none of
region.
this good. None of this.
And so they had to take this is bad. It gets even worse. So they had to take a camera.
No.
Straight up, dude. Straight up.
No.
Straight up it. Straight up it.
Oh my God.
Now, Alden at the time did not know what a Valium was, right? I'd never taken a Valium. So they go and they're like, I'm like, can you knock me out before you do the camera, please? Like, I'll go under. They were like, if you want to do that, you're going to have to schedule a whole other appointment. It's going to have to be a couple weeks from now. You have to wait longer. It's going to be a different location. They were like, why don't we just prescribe you a Valium? And I'm like, oh, cool. Was that going to like numb me out? Awesome. Valium doesn't numb you. No. Valium's like a wine mom drug.
Yeah.
You just get a little goofy for like 30 seconds.
Up and away. Yeah.
Yeah, you still feel everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I pull up, ironically, we're going to talk about late night. I pull up whatever the most recent like Tonight Show monologue was, and I'm just watching it on my phone.
Fallon? You brought up Fallon for more pain?
I don't know why. I don't know what he was talking about in 2016, early 2016. So yeah, not yet suspended. We were still in the Obama years at the end of this.
Here's Justin Timberlake.
So you guys, you made an album, I'm watching this clip. Camera's inside my ween, and then it comes out, and then I get a bunch of like paperwork. They give me like stuff to read about like what the procedure, what it could be. So then I'm meeting up with the same girl later, who at this point like is about to like officially be my girlfriend. So we got like third date 3 or 4, and I was like, look, I need to like arch the mood for a second. I need to talk to you. I'm sorry, I didn't like. I've just been all over the place. I don't want to freak you out. I was like, but I just want you to know, I could be really, really sick. I won't know that till a little while from now.
But now it sounds like they're shipping me out tomorrow. So you've got to show the way that you love me now. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was giving her the exit strategy. I was like, this is,
sure.
If it comes in that I'm really sick and you just want to like be friends or whatever, like I totally understand that. Or if you don't want to deal with it at all, like that's fine. And she was like super sweet about it and like it was great. And obviously we ended up getting together. So she did not take that exit ramp, which I guess is a good comment on her character.
Sure.
Not like Bryce Dallas Howard in the movie 50-50, where she does cheat on just Gordon-Levitt. He was sick. The one time you've ever hated Bryce Dallas Howard is in that movie.
Yeah, I'll forgive her.
I'll
forgive BDH.
That's like I could be persuaded to see her side.
I most likely would be. I'd probably be on the other end of it. That's why I'm rooting for it.
Yeah. So all I have to say, I get the results back, and I'm not sick, and they don't know what the hell happened. And their best theory was that I must have had giant kidney stones that broke up inside me and were breaking, and I was passing them all as pieces. And it was blocking and breaking and passing, and nothing was happening right.
Sorry.
That's the only theory that they have, and it went away. I did so many cups, and they were like, "There's no blood in this pee," and I felt like I was being gaslit. They were like, "You're fine."
Did you take pictures of the murder scene?
I think I did and send them like just to my mother, but I didn't know how else to have them.
Okay. Look, it's very clear. It's very clear what happened. I accept the kidney stones angle, but I think it's kidney stones meets blue balls. And I think your body didn't know what to do.
Interesting.
That's what I think. That's what me and RFK Jr. think.
Devious little Steve here wrote, I might die soon, so let's bring your friend Cindy in, since Steve thinks we should use that as an opportunity to try stuff. Maybe that is what I should have done.
That's what I think it is. Well, I'm glad you're here, buddy.
I've always had a Padme fan. If you want to let me throw on the Williams score,
There you go. Across the stars. Blood from your ween. All right. Well, I'm glad you're here. I can't feel anything from my waist down right now. I'm numb with pain for you. Oof. There you go.
Yeah. Like that. But I'm okay now, y'all. Much to the chagrin of my enemies, I endure.
Okay. Well,
I live.
Maybe you need to get up and go for some walks. Maybe.
If I lived in the Burbank area, I'd be on that walk crew, man. We'd be jamming.
Be on that walk. It's a good walk crew.
Playlist. Do you play music? Are you that person?
If I walk alone, yeah. yeah. But with Hal or Jason, we're chopping it up, buddy. We're solving life right then and there.
I know. Do you ever think about recording them? I mean, not to turn every moment of your life into content.
I did once. My pal Owen Mugen and I did an episode of This Is Life, walking late at night on the Burbank walking path, and I released it. And then too many people made fun of me being short of breath, so I decided to never do it again.
Dude, these people suck. No, present company excluded. Just like in general, viewers are assholes, man. Like, what the hell?
What do you want
let
from
them
me?
in your life.
I'm not a sprinter. All right.
So that's the answer to how we are.
That's how we are.
Ken is now and how I was.
See how we are. I'm good. Yeah. Okay. But a lot to get to. But I want to know I want to hear from you. The news broke late yesterday. Stephen Colbert going to be cut in 10 months. The Late Late Show, but Late Show, not the Late Late Show. That's long gone. But also that CBS, after 32 years, is out of the late night game, which I know seems like a long time. Isn't a long time. It's all for Letterman. It was all for Letterman. Letterman built that division. And then it's tied. I think it certainly feels like it's tied to some things. That's not necessarily facts, but that's definitely looks like a duck, walks like a duck, capitulates like a duck. So all that's kind of going on, and you're enraged. I want to hear from you. Go for it.
I am enraged. Guys, as Ken said, can we prove, like, for a fact, for 100% certainty, that this is, as some have said, part of the settlement arrangement, or at least like a quid pro quo on the side of the, like, no, I suppose we can't. But you would have to be an absolute clown buffoon to think that they are not related, because the context, yes, late night is not what it was in the 70s, 80s, 90s. Like, so are a lot of things are not. Like late night, much like comic books, had a certain age, and now it's been limping along for the last like 20 years at varying degrees of success. We all know this. But Colbert was number one consistently for the last bit here, and rising. So he had already a lead and was making that lead larger. And they want to have value as they approach this merger. They want to have brands that are succeeding as they approach this merger. And then you have one, and then it goes away right after he comments on the ethics of the merger, of the settlement for the lawsuit from Trump, which this same company said was completely without merit. It's like, what? This is like OJ levels of, like, come on. Like, what are we, like, what? Like, it's so unbelievably. And then, if it wasn't obvious enough, Trump goes on Truth Social today and talks about it, and says that he loves the fact that Stephen Colbert was fired, and he hopes Jimmy Kimmel is next, and that everybody should be watching that self-proclaimed Nazi on Fox, who I guess like was once a comedian. What's that guy's name, everybody?
Greg Gutfeld. Yeah.
Gutfeld.
Gutfeld. Yeah.
And then he pushes Gutfeld, and it's like everybody should be watching him.
Red Eye with Greg Gutfeld used to be a show.
But of course, don't call them Nazis. They want to reclaim the word, but don't call them.
They want to reclaim the word. Yeah. Funny bit. It's
like insane to me. And all of that, of course, with the context of what's happening with Parker and Stone over in the South Park camp. They had a deal. And then Skydance comes in and is like, we don't want that. We don't want that for them. We shouldn't be giving them that much. Now they're going through hell, and everything that happened with the rehearsals, criticisms of Paramount, like it's so frustrating to me on so many levels. I mean, there's like the basic level of just like how I feel as which some people won't agree with, but just like not a traditionalist, but just like in terms of my respect for like certain institutions. Like, there are things that should just always be on television. And I do think that late night has its place in the way that Sesame Street has its place, in the way that sports broadcasting has its place. Like, they're going to change, they're going to evolve. Sesame had to strike a streaming deal to survive. It's like, okay, that's fine. But like, they should always be there. Like this like get it for parts mentality that we've seen time and time again, that we've both been through, at different levels. is so just bad, and like it's frustrating and it's embarrassing that people on this level of decision making power. I'm not saying they need to love it, but it's like David Zaslav, over at Warner is another one where it's like, how do you get these brands and not understand what some of the key elements are, like not knowing what to do with the Looney Tunes, or Iger not knowing what to do with the Muppets, and now CBS Paramount not knowing what to do with the brand that Letterman started and created and led for years of rousing success. And then Colbert had a decade where he's beating the Tonight Show and Late Night and all the other ones that have popped up along the way and gone away and gotten beat. And he's making his lead larger in a time when everybody else can't. And you're looking at that and you're like, no, because he made fun of us. And that's what really makes me angry, is that once again, it's these quote unquote tough guys that need to be protected at all times. We need to protect and coddle and make sure that they are never offended, make sure that they never have an issue. It's like, it's a journalistic integrity problem. It's an anti-art problem. It's a speech problem. They love speech so much that this is their angle. That it's just for them. Everything is just for them. And I'm not going to give like George W. Bush like a lot of credit, because he's a war criminal that we've all sanitized into being an old man that paints and like makes a cameo every once in a while. But like, if I'm going to give him any credit, it's that Bush was like invading other nations and was being made fun of left, right, and sideways, and never silenced any of those critics at all. He didn't even, it never even came up. They were leading birtherism against the Obamas and saying that Michelle Obama was a man, or worse, comparing her to an animal, with just outright racism. And they never once silenced any of those people at all, because repugnant as it is, you had the right to say those things. And like that, you protect them that way. And now we have these outright pedophiles in many cases, assaulters in many cases, Nazis in many cases, and they get to dictate the terms of like what is said, and we just allow it. They don't even have to fight for it. They get to file suit. You can say that's completely without merit. They get to say, no, it's not. And then you say, okay, what? And then a bunch of people end up out of a job because of it. That is just so beyond. It's like embarrassing. It's like Putin level. Let me silence the comedians. Embarrassing. And everybody should be embarrassed, but they won't be, because it's happening to a liberal. If you want to put Stephen Colbert in a broad box, a liberal
Sunday school teacher.
Forget that he's also one of the most like famous and most well-liked men of faith. You would think that, maybe some people over on the right would be like, wow, an open man of God is being silenced by a pedophile. But no, they choose the pedophile. It pisses me off. It pisses me off on every conceivable level. And it's not like I'm going to like be like, oh, the Late Show is like saving our culture, or like whatever. I mean, like, it's not about the quality of the Late Show. I like it more often than I don't. There are some episodes where I'm like, I don't care about this guest and I don't watch it. Like, we all have that. But it's a complete surrender. Like, because there's a point that I'm sure we'll get into, which is like, do we need them anymore? Aren't they dying anyway? I'm like, yeah, whatever. But like, they should die. You don't just give it away. The Late Show should be canceled because it fails, not because some fuckhead is upset. That's just ridiculous to me. Like, that they would just surrender instead of just letting it burn. Like, I would hope now that Kimmel, who's already said fuck CBS and all of their young Sheldons, which I thought was a great joke. Seth Meyers has voice support. I'm sure there will be a groundswell, and I'm sure the next 10 months are going to be very interesting. And hopefully Conan O'Brien is booked for at least one of these Colbert episodes, just so they can have a fun little chat. Hopefully, I already said this on Blue Sky. I hope Letterman does My Next Guest with Colbert. I think that would be really smart. True. It'll be interesting to see what happens. My closing statement is, I hope that Colbert becomes a menace in as much as he can, because he's a very nice guy. I hope that it is open rebellion, and I think that it's like just actively really, really gross. And Julia Louis-Dreyfus had a great post about it. You can go look at the quote that she used and everything. Like, this is surrendering in advance. It's not just about the comedy. It's not just about the broadcasting. Like it's all those things plus just like we're gonna let these people do whatever they want. Whatever they want. Like, what's the point of being a multi-million-dollar corporation if you can't just like whip it out every once in a while and say make me? Like it's insane to me. It's insane because it's not about finances. It's a lie. It's like when a certain company decided that they didn't need the Star Wars show anymore, and they were like, "Oh, it's a finance thing." No, it's fucking not. It's not a finance thing. It's not. You have the money.
I think we disagree on that, but yes.
But it is not though. But it's not. It's because it's not a finance thing. It's about an allocation of finances things. Like the money is there. Don't tell me that it's not there when we see what else you'll spend money on for the editors and the people to shoot and the teams and the travel and the this, that, and the effects and everything. Like it's never money. It's just what do we want to put it in? Because it's like CBS is not hurting for money because they're about to do yet another, the third Big Bang spinoff. This time about the comic book store owner.
That's right.
Character,
Chuck Lorre.
Obviously. So it's like it's not money. And as Adam McKay pointed out, late night exists because it's cheap. Going back to the 40s, like it's been a cheap standard where it's like it doesn't cost money to put them on
wrestling. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
pisses me off. Right. That's my opening statement.
No, I asked, you answered. I appreciate it. There you go. Everyone agrees with you. Matty Gun's just the fuck we are. I don't know what that means. Yeah. I hear you. I feel you. Everyone's frustrated. We'll see the next 10 months. Do you think he'll sue Colbert?
Do I think Stephen Colbert will sue?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm glad you said that at this exact moment, because right when I looked at my phone, my friend sent me the WGA just released a statement on Paramount's decision. And I'm not going to read the entire statement, but it addresses the bribe stuff. I'll read it in full when we're done because this is boring, me reading a WGA post. But it says at the ending paragraph, the Writers Guild calls on New York State Attorney General Letitia James, no stranger to prosecuting Trump for illegal business practices, to launch an investigation into wrongdoing at Paramount. Damn. All right. So, okay. It's going to get a little nasty.
Yeah, that's what if it's truly, if Colbert's team feels that this is truly retaliatory, then I do hope there is some kind of, beyond just unions get involved, that there is some sort of lawsuit, because then I think we could get some stuff down on paper, so to speak, of why. I would disagree with this. Late Show does not do big numbers. Colbert leads with 2.7 million. Letterman's debut episode was 23 million viewers at his peak, 7.8 in just 18 to 49 alone. That's not a moneymaker anymore. But that's why CBS is out of the game. Not just, this is separate from what you're talking about. I just they're not the numbers. It's not what it was, and as we know, and so they're got pre-sold advertising for the next 10 months. They'll collect on that, and then I'd like to see him sued. Like if it's a breach of contract, truly retaliatory, you have enough evidence, like you laid out. Fight. Let's do that. He's gonna. Everyone's saying he's gonna be fine. He employs 200 people. Yeah. He employs 200 people. So we'll see where they go. We'll see where they land. Do they do internet thing? But yeah, I'd like to dig in on it. Sue, let's figure this out.
It should end up in Discovery. It should end up being a thing, because it's like, the numbers aren't big, but they can't be anymore. Like the ceilings are different.
They can't. Yeah, it's different metrics. But I think you will see Kimmel go soon. I do think Tonight Show is an institution in nearly 70 years, SNL 50 years, but I think their ends are closer to than we would think. This one's only 32 years, but that's still a lifetime. And remember, Taylor Tomlinson quit, and they said we're punting 12:30. Seth Meyers can't even hire a band anymore. So I'm curious to see where we're starting to go. But because of what is hovering around this show, that's what I would love to see Colbert's team do. Sue.
Yeah, because it's an undeniable. The landscape is different. It's difficult. It's changed. Myers was just talking about that the other day of like when he got in, taking over late night.
Yeah.
It was that brief little boom where it seemed like, oh, we love this again. And that
Yeah.
2014, 2015, like everybody's going to have a thing. We're going to do 2 to 3 time slots per network. We're going to, do one that backup show for everybody and then one where we try out a newbie. That's when you had like the late with Corden, and then it wasn't always Corden, but like late was the last, Corden's iteration. Lily Singh, they tried out for 2 seasons. Like they were doing a bunch of stuff. And now, and then that ended really quickly. And so it's like, I don't have illusions about like, it's doing great, but it's like, we move the ceiling down, it's sort of like what we talked about with, spoilers for season 4 of Hacks. It's a weird parallel that they just wrote some of these exact points into the arc of, Gene Smart's character, Deborah Vance. Like, it's not enough to be number one. It's not enough to beat your competition. It's not enough to be number one in within the confines of the demo. It's not enough to adjust on the fly. They will always take. It's always like the constant moving goalpost. And it's like, no one will ever see 80s, 90s Letterman and later Leno numbers again. Surely not. But when you combine all metrics, when you combine everything that's going on, when you combine what it's about, of like, it's about beating the other people. It's like, what more could you do? But you offend the fucking Fuhrer, and then we're trying to get a merger through, which will cost even more jobs. And that's a completely different adjacent topic. It's like that, merger's bad is not some brilliant business analysis. I don't need to explain that to our viewers. I don't think, like, obviously it's horrible. And it's going to affect all types of stuff. Probably a good friend of Colbert, Mr. Jon Stewart, who's already, I think, low-key preparing for it all to end. Because he openly said on Weekly Show, he was like, I don't know, if I think it'll affect us or not. Probably will. Because if this is a, are you now or have you ever been fucking approach to things, they're going to go for, as Trump has already said, Kimmel next. Stewart will be up there. It's just a ideologically disgusting time. This being, of course, the network of Murrow, by the way.
The Tiffany network.
This is the network that used to, again, and not to lionize companies. I know what companies are. I don't need any of my fellow internet lefties being like, this is why you don't lionize a corporation, Alden. Yeah, I know. Jesus. Like,
give in to your anger of those lefties. Give in to it.
So, like, I didn't plan to bring this up, but like, I will bring it up. There was a post shared by an Andor actor. Everybody could figure out which one, because they've been the most outspoken on Palestine. And they shared a post to their Instagram story that was somebody saying that the new Superman film should be boycotted because of Warner's ties to Israel. And I'm not getting into any of that. But what I'm saying is, it's like, how the fuck is anyone working for the Walt Disney Corporation saying that anybody else's thing? Like, that is the most, like, you're just like trying to like throw stones in the glass house type thing of like, so don't go see this really direct thing that is as direct as the thing that you were just in, because it's parent company. You want to talk about parent companies, and we're all fucking guilty. We're making the show on YouTube right now.
I bought some squirrel peanuts on Amazon this week. It's like, I think it's valuable to be aware of that stuff.
Yeah,
I think it's important to know, because you don't think. I didn't grow up thinking of all that a corporation could sponsor war, essentially. I think there's great value to it. I get it. I respect the point of view, but it's like, I don't know, a lot of people try to get me really. Gaga went to Bezos' wedding. I don't care. I don't. Gaga's fiance is a tech bro who's Peter Thiel's friend. Like, it's already dirty. Like, do I wish she didn't go? Yeah. Do I? But. Yeah. She stands up for trans rights more than any other. Like, do you want me to cut that out because she got invited to a wedding? Like, I'm not worried about that. There's other fights for me. And that's why I get a little grumpy.
Exactly. I leave that type of commentary to Rosie O'Donnell, who we haven't mentioned on this show, but I will say I have a soft spot in my heart for Rosie O'Donnell. Rosie,
let's talk. Rosie,
you're welcome on this show anytime, Rosie. I will make the time.
I want to walk through that. We'll get back to Colbert. I'll get my take is this. I think I'm a little more of a clown side than you probably want me to be. I think this is not just a dying industry. That I think I get a little upset. The younger generations, you took this away from me, anyways. Your TikToks and your reels and all your boop, like this is where we're at. This is where we're at. And like Parray for 898 for him keeps trying to. It's not just the YouTube. Colbert's not a cultural. It's not like it used to be. Not just in terms of numbers, in terms of we only had Carson to watch. It's never going to be that. So I have a little bit of like I'm not crying for Trump didn't cancel Taylor Thomason. She kept, she left, and they were like, "This is not a profitable thing for us anymore." So that was the first sign. I've had conversations with friends in the business, like, "Oh shit, like this stuff's starting to go." So now it's going. But I think the reason going, right. Yeah, but the reason going, like that's why I said that. My thought is like, then I thought about this overnight. I think they should sue. I think they should sue if they truly feel they have that. If that's the reason why, if they can prove it. But he's got 10 more months. That's. Again, I think that's Plume and I were talking last night too. That's advertising. They've got 10 months of advertising sold. But they're giving him 10 months. So that means it's less likely hold up that, hey, you canceled me because of what I said, and 2 days later I'm gone. Well, we gave you 10 months. It's a little out. But that's where my thoughts. So I'm not as upset as everyone else, and I just got to be honest with that.
But I also think that you're talking about like an adjacent like background truths. Like I think that we're. Like, cause I'm not, as I listened to some of what you said on Blathering, so like I knew that you had like more of a balanced business approach. And again, I want to stress, I don't have illusions about the business.
No, you don't. You 100% don't. No, 100%.
Like I've never worked in late night $1 billion broadcast company for 6 years. Like I've seen the ins and outs. I've seen the moving goalposts. I've seen the reasons why they cut things. But part of that also is led to my anger, because I've said before on the show, the only time I was ever reprimanded by iHeartMedia ever was for offending a Trump supporter. And that's because the head of the SVP of programming at the time was also a Trump supporter. The head of the building was an anti-vax, anti-mask creeper who got canceled for some tweets later on. Like it's the fact that I can see that they are protecting each other. And I'm not saying that you don't. You're saying sue, and I agree. But it's just like I think that they're almost like issues that exist at the same time. Because I
sure
would Colbert have maybe lasted another 10 years, maybe not, but it would not have been now. It would not have been now. I refuse to believe that this is, because again, it's like, then how are the other ones still existing with like no talk of cancellation, they just reduced Fallon to a 4-day schedule. Like that's the only change that has been ever, at least in his entire run, that's been implemented on the Tonight Show. So it's like, stuff is happening, but this just reeks of a deal. Whether it was actually part of the settlement stuff or
it feels like it. A Hollywood Reporter put out a little thing today, and my friend shared a comment about there's the reasons and there's what it feels like, and that's kind of what I think we're discussing here. It feels there. I personally just don't like. You still can't convince me that the assassination attempt was faked. Like you have to go a lot farther than what we've done so far. So with this, I just have a natural caution that comes through, of like, show me some transcripts of old Les Moonves taking the call, then I'm on board. Until then, let's just see where it lays. But what you're also talking about, what I agree with, is the frustration. We get PBS, NPR, which are unrelated but related.
Related, yeah.
Yeah, you have,
they're spreading. It's not because it's beyond speculation, right? Because with NPR and PBS
voted last night,
are
2 a.m.
actively saying like it's the official position of the Trumpian right now that they are spreading leftist propaganda to your kids. So it's like that they've been way more open about. Whether will they ever say that about Colbert? Probably not, because they know that the fight that they might be in for now. But it's like they are the same, in essence. Like, and it's that one, like they're the same level of institution. It's the same level of always being there. And like the fact that like this is what this country thinks is worth dealing with in this way, that like, like Colbert is the enemy. Elmo is, which is the country, which sucks to say. It's like the corporations and the government and the Republicans, like it's all one apparatus. And the Democrats. We always want to play fair here. This is also the same week where Hakeem still will not endorse Zoran Mamdani, insisting that I stayed out of that race and everything, even though
to a self-parody level that needs to be studied.
It's insane.
It needs to be studied.
AIPAC does not have snipers, man, that we know. Like you could speak freely, man. Like that one was it 1.1, 1.7, something like that million that he received from them. Like, brother, it cannot be that. It cannot be all that being in bed with them. It's crazy. So everybody's bought and paid for, and I think it all just put me in that rage of like, I never thought, and I get frustrated at myself too for being naive. But it's just like, I just never thought that we would hand it all over. Like I would rather the Late Show had limped along until it was sad and then it could die on its own sword than it'd be like this, like it's just so, and I feel that way with everything. Like if it's going to die, it should die. If it's like, I will never allow things to just, go that way. It pisses me off. It just like, it ethically drives me crazy that we've just decided that they get to set the terms of everything. Like, and I feel that even on the most micro levels, like, I said this to my family recently. I was like, why is the onus on me to make sure everybody else is feeling comfortable and fine at dinner when they're the ones that support harm? Like, but
it's also the, we've talked before, like if someone walks into a coffee shop with a MAGA hat on, they want you to fight them, but they know you won't. They've set the term for that. We just ignore. It's down to that level. I think you're very right about that. I'm very right about that. And we'll see how it shakes out. I mean, it not shakes out in terms of like, I don't even know if it'll last 10 months, right? Like they could be like after 2 weeks.
We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what. We also don't know, like on a comedy and broadcast history level, we don't know how, because it hasn't been tested. How did the Conan situation on NBC change the game in terms of like how these shows are legally tied up, I guess is the best way to put it. Like, because he famously used all of his like, buffer episodes when he knew it was over to rack up the bills and, be absurd and piss them off and all that stuff. Like, will they just take the purse away from the Late Show in the meantime now? Like, what happens? Like,
I don't know. I mean, I really do. Just not cynical. Like the advertising is pre-sold, but like it's really weird to me. If you just want my honest opinion, it's really weird to me that they're giving them 10 months. That's probably fueling a little bit of what you described as caution or everything. It's just like that you wouldn't do that if it was all 100% the bad reasons. You just wouldn't do it. In radio, I was told to pack up like that day, and we begged and got a day to say goodbye. Like that's just not normal. But I think it shows a little bit of just mutual business respect, not personal respect, but business respect of we better let him finish out this contract or whatever it is. I mean, it's not finishing out his contract, right? It's out early, I think, right? Because he just re-signed in 2023. So I don't have any answer. I just like, that's really curious to me. And I don't know how that 10 months, how the 10 months will go. The Conan stuff, it's interesting. There's that book. I don't go into the Conan stuff too much because I love Conan O'Brien. I get really frustrated with him during that time because I think he lost the show by refusing to change and not the best artistic ways for me. So I know I have a negative opinion. I recuse myself from that conversation.
No, sure. You don't want to criticize someone that you admire, and
because I actually, legitimately think he's one of the nicest, most important people in the business. But
yeah, it's interesting for sure. And there's in Lorne, the new Lorne book that came out for the 50th, his biography, his POV is very heavily focused on during that, and he shared a lot of, I think, your sentiment of like, that he was sitting in New York being like, why won't he just call me and we can like go about this like adults instead of doing what he is doing, which is open rebellion and trying to be a stinker.
I don't know. It's just he was told going in, you can't be what you were. You have to be. You're speaking to a bigger audience, and all along the way, he was told it's not working. You're hemorrhaging money, ratings, everything. It's not working. And Jay also, not defending Jay Leno, but Jay, like, I didn't want to leave. Sorry, they forced me out. I want back, and it's just one of those things where like, I get it. You want to have your artistic integrity, but I can't keep going on stage and doing something that's not working and blame the audience after a while. After I have to adjust what I'm doing or stuff. And that's where it goes. I got to.
That's why we've said before that like Seth Meyers would not fit the Tonight Show, but he fits late night.
100%. 100%. But also, I wouldn't have thought Fallon. I wouldn't have thought Fallon fit the Tonight Show, and here we are.
Does he though? Does he though?
No. You know why? Sorry, I know this sounds boomer, but I know it also. Well, I know it speaks to you. The moment Fallon got the Tonight Show was when, to me, the Tonight Show died and was not what it was. Not that that's anything. I know that sounds like I'm totally being an asshole to Fallon, but like it was something different. It's not unlike when I get to a show or a set and they're like, "Oh, here's our host." It's some TikToker who's never been in front of a microphone. In fact, chews gum as they're sitting there, but they got 2 million followers. They're the host of the show. You're not. I'm like, then it's not even about me, but just like, that venerable host we had, we're not bringing him in. We're bringing in this TikToker. Fallon was the biggest example of that, where we're all in a new paradigm. Skill is not recognized.
I don't disagree. It changed everything. It put the emphasis on the internet, put the emphasis on like dance segments and game segments and impression segments and like all these. I mean, I don't never met the man, but like he's not a good interviewer.
Horrible.
And you know what also frustrates me just on a taste level is that Colbert is the best interviewer out of the current late night.
Oh, and Jimmy's awkward at best too. Yeah, Jimmy's good.
As a fan of good interviewing, it bothers me. But yeah, we'll see how the 10 months go. I almost wonder too because to your point about the curiosity of why the timeline, I wonder if it's merger related. Like they don't want to have an asset disappear in the certain time that they think they need to get the clearance. And so they're hoping that they can get it done in 10 that way. Because if Colbert goes off, tomorrow, then that's also content on Paramount Plus that disappears. Like, that they live stream on there, that they have on there. It's like, I wonder if it's like, we can't have South Park or Daily Show or Late Show or any of these things dying while we still have like our portfolio here of like, look at all this. Like,
it's that weird, stupid merger balance of look what we got, but also look at all the staff we've cut because so you're buying the costs are reduced. Yeah, it's that weird thing. Yeah. So
it's frustrating. A lot of people in the comments talking about Conan about like what he did after, and like I think again Colbert will be fine. I don't cry for Colbert, the man. He's going to be all right. I mean, he can immediately set up. At any streamer, he can immediately set up online. He could take it on the road. He could write books. He could do pretty much anything he wants, and he will be 100% fine. And Conan, some people argue his best stuff has been in the post era, post NBC era, whether that's TBS, whether that's podcasting.
Travel show when I want to just punch him in the face. But other than that, he's the best.
Hate the travel.
That's how he is in writers' rooms, and he's by all accounts the most annoying man in writers' rooms. But yes, the best Conan came later. Yeah, absolutely. And I think the best Colbert's going to come absolutely later. He can do it out of his house. The pandemic showed he can broadcast from his bathtub.
Yeah, I think he should. I who knows what he'll do. Like there's a lot of muscles that he hasn't been able to flex while being a late night host that maybe he'll want to go back to. He's not traditionally a stand-up, but
no. He sketch. Exit,
he could.
Exit 57 and Strangers with Candy. Yeah.
I don't know if he'd ever want to go back to it. You don't see a lot of older folks doing sketch still.
I'll tell you why. We're told to leave it. We're told that we're too old, and we're told that it's done. Thank you. And I don't care if you wrote sketches with Kristen Wiig and Mikey Day. We just do TikToks.
Yeah.
Well, don't get me started on Sarah Squirm and all that stuff. Oh, Alden.
Yeah. Hit a nerve.
Oh, that's the answer. That's why you do stand up. I can do it till I'm 90, maybe even 92.
Yep.
And all you need is a mic and a brick wall.
And if worst comes to worst, then you just hit the break glass in case of emergency and go right wing. You always have that waiting for it.
Look, I think we don't like to face this truth, but I do think go woke, go broke is somewhat true. I do think it's somewhat true. So yeah, absolutely. I'll get up on
And
stage
if it's
with
not
some.
true, then like, go right and make a fuck ton of money definitely is true.
It's
Like,
definitely true. And then go, this isn't what I voted for. When it's that allows you to keep more money.
Don't even get me started on that. We've texted about it. We've talked about it. Like it's embarrassing, but like they don't feel embarrassment. That's the thing. They don't feel it.
No,
they're insulated from it. They're beyond it. They make too much money for it. Whether that's Rogan, whether that's Schultz, it's like, no, yeah, dude, you either are a moron who can't read, or you're a liar, or both, because you explicitly did vote for it.
All right, I want to acknowledge 898 for him. He's working really hard. So I think there's a serious underestimation of how big late night shows are culturally. Just a couple years ago, TikTok is pretty new. People in college watch YouTube clips religiously. Okay, so I ask you, is that true? I don't think it's true. I think late night shows have the relevance of, local news from 1978. But they do. But are they clips big for the spectacle, or is it like, oh, Kimmel? I'm asking, not answering. Yeah. I'm asking. What do you feel?
I think their presence online is really big, but it is entirely based on. I think it's way more based on guest than person than it used to be. Than host. Like the idea of like going to bed with your late night host of choice, them being there, saying, "I'm gonna watch the new Carson. I'm gonna watch the new Letterman." That's gone.
That's gone. We know that, but
there was a massive. I still think place for when this person goes on blank, it's always good. Or when this person or a clip that really or like when Ariana Grande goes on Fallon, it's always massive because they have the chemistry. They make a thing happen. Or like when Dua Lipa goes on Colbert, it's always like the best interview quality.
Okay, but look, I'm going to be honest. I don't trust you on that one. Okay.
You should though, because I'm an expert on all things.
I think your perspective is a little shaded. No, I'm asking. I'm not even refuting what 898 for him saying. I know I keep saying late show. The Late Show has like nearly 10 million subs on YouTube. I don't know the individual numbers they get, because that could mean they get 1 million views. And that's good. That's valuable. But I just and that's why, as much as I don't like Fallon, or even don't like James Corden, Carpool Karaoke was what you needed to do, right?
No, they got it. They figured out the formula. Like it was, I mean, it honestly gets birthed with Lonely Island, of them realizing like, oh, people love the digital shorts. Like you should again in that same book. There's a whole thing of like Lauren being like, can we get a SNL.com? How does that work? Like, like there was like just these thoughts of like, we can get a second meal. Yeah. we can get a second meal out of them the next night.
Yeah. No, it's great. I agree. Yeah. Oh, Lazy Sunday.
Changes the game.
That was a game changer for my generation, and you were benefit of and younger. But then exactly what you're saying. Fascinating. We could talk that for a while. Thank you for sharing your rage. I liked hearing your rage.
Even if you're watching, we can't pay you, but you're more than welcome to come on.
Come on, Steven.
This channel. And
after your non-compete clause runs out, after your future endeavors 90-day waiver, then you can go to AEW or Anytime.
AEW, because what are we if not the indie fed trying to be legit of internet broadcasting?
Love it.
Us two victims of a dying industry here on Anytime.
No, look, man. Yeah, you my bitterness comes through. I had a really cool writing job. I had a really cool writing job, and then on set, they didn't know I was in the room, or they didn't care. Someone was like, "Oh, this script is written like so. It's so game showy," and it's like, no, I just introduced the guests.
Yeah,
I just wrote.
Yeah,
and finally, it's so and so, and I was laughed out of the room. So maybe me and Charlie Ashby are going to fuck off to Slough and open up a paper company.
Man, Hopefully, hopefully the tide turns back in our favor one day. There, every now and then you get a rumbling, that they want real broadcasters, people that can actually do it.
Every once in a while.
Every once in a while. But
Um,
you wanted to touch on, maybe touch on is the wrong phrase, the Epstein list.
it was no. I'll tell you what. That was going to be our thumbnail because that was probably the thing to talk about, and I'm unfortunately glad we had to change for unfortunate reasons. But like, much rather hear your take and your thoughts on the Colbert situation, what's going on, than having to wonder about the list because it's just it. It's so I've reached a point. I'm struggling to. I don't have anything to say anymore. Yeah. That's what it is. I don't have anything to say.
It's almost like the fact that as a nation right now, we're like, is it good to protect pedophile rings? Discuss. And it's just like, how did we end up at discuss?
And then we end up here. And this it does tie a little bit. I respect I respect the evidence. It's that Simpsons episode where you thought the guy killed someone, but he didn't. It just was a series of unfortunate accidents that made it look like he killed the guy. There's a series of rather connected events relating to the Colbert news from 2 days ago in his monologue, the surgery, all that stuff. Put it together. But I want more to really convince me. I need what we're getting this week. Where remember, 2 weeks ago, I was like, I am convinced there never was a list. I think he killed himself. And there's no aliens. There's no aliens in the sea. There's no aliens in the sky. We are alone. Sorry, there's no proof otherwise. This week, we have birthday letters. We have Alan Dershowitz saying, "Oh, I know who's on the list." We just have more and more that I'm just like, I'm now just sitting back and watching this as a weird reality show, which is tragic because there's victims at the center of this.
Of course, and they're not being centered because everybody wants to use this as, of course, the political takedown. But I also think with that is separate truth is that we're so desperate to just topple this fucker that we'll grab onto anything. Like we're doing with this what we did with the Mueller report, which I fully acknowledge that it is sort of the same. But it's like, who, by the way, he's still prosecuting people that worked on the Mueller investigation and like trying to fire they just fired the person that prosecuted Epstein. Like it's so beyond where there's smoke there's fire. It's like these people this year said they had it. They did influencer photos with it. The people that have worked with Epstein
Bondi was on her desk. And and I'm with I'm with Jared. I want to be clear, like Jared Dark Jedi. I don't think there ever was a list. There are documents certainly implicate people. Yeah, I'm on that. But like obviously stuff happened. But it's
the list being a colloquialism. It's just it's like
what do you feel?
The Pentagon Papers became a term. It's like it's a lot more than just
Hunter's laptop.
Yeah, or Hunter's laptop. Yeah.
But what are you? Because I don't have a lot of words to say on it. When you watch. I won't say mega civil war, but when you watch a Tucker Carlson go on stage and start to speak out against, even that weird Mike Johnson saying we should release the files, like all these things. Where do you go with that? What do you get joy out of it? Does it not move your needle? Because who cares? Burn them all, which is actually pretty correct. Like, where do you go with that?
I am very for anything that causes their whole apparatus to be disrupted just in general, whether that was the Elon Trump infighting, whether it's this, like there is a place for anything that gums up the works because people are being hurt, people's lives are being ruined, stuff is being cut that people need, people are being rounded up by the Gestapo. So it's like, if the fact that this known adjudicated rapist, which is an under discussed point somehow, like it's not an opinion or a rumor that he's a rapist, he is one. So it's like, factually speaking, he is one, and he should be referred to one as one at every turn. The fact that he also is probably a pedophile, which is one of those open Bryan Singer, Harvey Weinstein type secrets. It's like it should be focused on, because if it fractures the right at all, I'll take that. Like I am at the point now where it's like anything that makes their day worse, I'll take it. his the veins in his legs not getting blood to his heart, I'll take that too. That's a start. That is a start for me. I will take it no matter what. If I can get both of those issues to somehow combine, and the stress from being called a pedophile combines with the lack of blood flow, awesome. I'll take that too.
We're the same. Yeah, no, I don't mind throwing chum in the water. Yeah, we talked about the Elon Trump thing too. Yeah. I don't take. I don't think you or anyone in our audience is taking any, even someone like Andrew Schultz or anyone else, serious about any of the. Oh, I didn't vote for this stuff. It's just I do get a lot of joy out of the absolute chaos, because this was look, this administration's been absolutely horrendous, and the changes and the things that we even talk about in this episode are real. But we all had that, like, I mean, they hate each other. They will eat each other soon. And so when some of it starts to happen, I do get a little sick joy out of it, even though it's not productive joy.
No, it's not. But like, nothing is productive right now. Like, it's like, it's every feeling comes with the full context of like where we're at. Like, we're beyond late stage capitalism. We are in fully a fascist state, which is something else that is just like somehow under discussed. Like, we have a masked, unidentifiable, secret military working for the president of the United States, rounding people up with complete impunity, that is more funded than most of the world's entire militaries. And they are putting people in real camps, like we have one here in Florida that is a fucking concentration camp. Not an alligator or whatever they want to brand it as. It's a concentration camp, not an internment camp, because that term was used intentionally to sanitize what we did to the Japanese Americans in the 40s. There are actual speeches where FDR referred to them as concentration camps. So it's like, argue with his corpse. That's what it was. Internment is this word that you use to specifically for like the citizens of like an occupied nation during times of war. Like there are reasons why internment gets used. It's a concentration camp then, it's a concentration camp now. They have armed guards not letting attorneys go in places. And I say all this to say that, like, we are in such a dark place right now. The worst political climate of my lifetime, for sure. That I'll root for this guy to get taken down by anything. Like, it's like I will grab on to
natural and unforced.
Yeah,
legally.
Yeah, for sure.
I spent far too many minutes this week staring at that makeup covered spot on his hand this week, just going, what? I mean, I know what it is. I got it. He's got a shot. He's got a bruise. He's got makeup. But what kind of makeup did they put on? Concrete? Like, what is that? Yeah. Paste?
I want to bring attention to a point for Charlie here. Just like in the reality of Trump falling, which for the record, I don't think he's going to go down for it. But like, I still don't think we'll see all 4 Trump years. I don't think it's going to happen. By hook or by crook.
You and James Carville.
There will be something. It's difficult for the rest to be cemented. The MAGA crowd are too cruel and cowardly to work together and maintain a long-term plan. Yeah, I think that ties in with what we said a couple weeks ago about Tucker Carlson. Like, Tucker sees, as I said, the future where the next grift needs to be laid out. Like, he's already taking his lifeboat out. We've seen them all start to slowly turn. Like, yeah, there's the comedy of all these people having a release the files post previously. Even his own sons have posts about release the files from as recently as summer last year. So it's just like, there's that comedy, but there's also like specifically the way that like Carlson and Marjorie Taylor Greene both praised the way that Mamdani was running his campaign. The fact that they're all starting to be like, hey, well, what's going on with this at like Steve Bannon rallies, and like people are yelling, and like all of that speaks to this point of they're starting to realize there needs to be a world beyond this nearly 80-year-old rapist, and they don't know what the future looks like. Yeah. And it's not Vance, no matter how much Vance would like it to be. He's going straight back to the lower mid card the second this is over. He's like
he's going for the TV title. He's not even going for the Intercontinental title. He's going down for the WCW TV title of the 90s. Oh man. That's bad.
He's getting kicked out, dude. He's going to Thunder.
Is he going to Thunder? Thursday. Is he going to 6-man mixed tag matches? 6-person mixed tag matches.
He's gonna be fighting for like his kids on a pole. Like it's gonna be real bad for him. He does not. The main event. He should enjoy this little run.
He's got a good push
right now.
He's got a good push. You know what? His push. He's the Brutus the Barber Beefcake to Trump's Hogan of the pushes. Just being pulled along.
Yeah. Oh, that there's now. I think for the first time, like they're gonna say Trump 28, Vance with his hat the other day. Bannon said that he'll be president January 29. Like they're gonna push that, but they realistically know that they need a next phase.
Look, man, you're gonna be rolling out what essentially is Dan Aykroyd's character, but from Nothing But Trouble to run at that point. You talk about problems with Biden. Man, that it's I don't know. Dorinas says
Jake Tapper be reporting on anything?
Yeah, he would. Highly recommend reading about the new right. Dorina, I ain't got time to read. Just send me a text. Summarize the book. Use AI to summarize the book, okay?
Dorina,
How many Fortnite hours I got to play?
She did clarify. Peter Thiel installing Vance and the tech oligarch.
Yeah,
I mean Thiel is definitely, how do I say this in a legally protected way? There's a list that I keep in my mind that everybody's constantly changing ranks. They're going up and down in the rankings.
Oh, it's just a friend list. You have a popularity list in you keep
guys that just need blank. And Thiel he's steadily climbing. He is climbing.
Yeah.
Oh, can I say something about him real quick?
Yeah, you can.
And him,
it's your show. It's your goddamn show.
That's right. Yeah. I'm sick and tired. There's a lot that I'm sick and tired of with the tech bros and the broligarchy and Silicon Valley and all these fuckers. But something specifically that's been bothering me lately is the fact that they keep naming their companies with Tolkien words like Palantir or Anduril and all these things. And it's like, stop stealing and making these fucking cool things bad. Like, J.R.R. Tolkien was against the mechanization. He was against war.
True.
He was against everything that you stand like. And you're gonna name. I don't need to get into the comedy of why naming Palantir is funny, considering what the Palantir does.
Yeah.
Story. It's just like this. He should be the Tolkien estate should be suing left, right, and sideways.
Go
I don't
for
know why
it.
they're
Yes,
not.
they sue. Yeah, they're Yeah, they're on set on Rings of Power. A friend of mine who works on the show was like, they're on set to make sure that nothing from the books gets in. Like that's their job. That's why they're there. The family's there. So if we could just have them sue it on the robo. Love that. Peter Thiel is an anagram for the reptile. I'm just saying, this is Cameron Stewart. There you go. Horrible conspiracy theory trope, but I'm buying it today. Speaking of, all right, the time we have left, I do have squirrels to feed. I do want to talk about the Gen Z stare with you, and I want to. This is it. I'll explain all my positions. I want to know. I want to know. This is a listening. I'm on a microphone. I'll rail a little bit.
I need to know what there is too. You guys said it.
It's also it's. There's a lot of different angles to it, and I think even yesterday on the blathering, there's a breakdown on kind of what we were discussing, or even what I was trying to get across. And I'm a dummy. Final thing on kind of this list and all this stuff. That the fact that JD Vance went up to Rupert Murdoch and his son to have like a little sit down, kind of came out. And someone put, do you think this is one of Murdoch's last acts is to take down Trump from the inside? And I just laughed at that, and now I want it to be true, and I don't care anymore. Vance is horrible. He's a mid-carter, like you said. I saw that. Have you seen that? And do you want that to happen?
Again, I'll take it. Like I'm very much of the mentality that I'll take it. Like I thought that I multiple times I've thought now would be a good time for Vance to try to oust his Nazi daddy, but he won't do it. I do think that he is broken on like a reek level. Like they were trying to Wall Street Journal story yesterday. Before it came out, there was all this reporting from Capitol Hill, like, the White House is contacting the Wall Street Journal. Trump is personally making calls. They want to kill this story. It's about to come out, which ended up being the gross Epstein birthday story. And the second that the Wall Street Journal posts it, Vance has a post up this is bullshit, part of my language, whatever. Like, he's literally,
Jesus, forgive me.
he's literally setting up his tweets in drafts, getting ready to defend this man. It's bananas, the level of broken that he is.
This shit is bananas. BAN. Wait, she's a trad wife now. All right. So okay. So Jared, let's start here. Here's the Gen Z stare. Jared says the Gen Z stare has been explained to me as younger people being despondent at work and not people despondent at work at people not liking the service that comes from it. So that's part of it. There's a lot of articles you can click right now. I'm just trying to, when I say Gen Z stare, what do you say, Alden?
I say I need you to demonstrate it. Can you do one? Like, what does this mean?
Apparently, so it's this. Let's play act here. You want to play act? Okay, this is a Del Taco. I'm working the Del Taco. You come in and just try to be friendly while you order.
Okay, all right. Door opens.
Ding dong.
Hey, how's it going? How you doing? Oh, this is great radio. Look at how
That's
fucking mad you. You look so just so repulsed by my presence.
Yeah, that's it.
So I guess my first question for you, now that I know what it is, and I by the way, I googled Gen Z stare. There's an article from the Washington Post, Business Insider, NBC. They're all from the last day or two.
Yes. I'm looking at some of them too.
I guess it's exploding. The TikTok debate explained. Well, that's why I don't know it, because I don't use that stupid ass app.
Yeah, this is why it's interesting to ask you, because you're not sometimes part of the youngers. Yeah, and look, and some of it is.
I woke up today, my back hurt, and I started yelling about the Late Show. I am not.
You need to get up and go for a hike. You need to get up and go for a hike, young man. I'm sick of this.
So
okay,
debate is what, like, this generation is rude? Because my opening salvo would be, yeah, we covered store worker hatred for the customer in 1994 when Kevin Smith made Clerks. Like, this is a
that's an excellent point.
Issue.
That's an excellent point. Like, now you're putting it on the feet of Gen X.
Well, it's not the feet of Gen X, but I just feel like this has always been there, right? Like, maybe the 60s, 70s changed it, because in the 50s there's the notion of like the clerk that's really happy to be there and is like, thank you, sir, and you give him a quarter. But like the tagline for Clerks was, just because they serve you doesn't mean they like you.
I do love that. Yeah, Plume says they're not revulsed; they're nonplussed. So again, and we have 898 for M and Cam Stewart, and they're Gen Z, and they were like, Brady called in yesterday to blather me. He's like, that's why we ended up talking about it. He's like, I don't know what this is. So it's one of those things that's maybe trumped up. Oh shit, that's not the word we use anymore. Ballooned up more than it actually is in real life, because I have not actually run into this. But in general, yeah, it is like, hey, I'm at this job. You're ordering a burrito. We don't need to have any inauthentic contact. I'm here for a reason. You're here for a reason. Let's get on with it. But then it goes into areas of, and this is what we talked about yesterday, some of it might be that generation, especially if they lost a lot of development time during the lockdown and this post-lockdown world. It's not just simply post-internet world, though, that might not come into it, where there might be social cues and skills they don't have, and then maybe they don't want to have. And so I only brought it up because on the surface, yeah, it makes me a little grumpy because I'm a friendly dude in that kind of environment. I'm good with the banter. I'm very, I make everyone feel welcome. But I have strong opinions on the other way, where because of older generations and what you talked about in 1950s, you went into Pop's, tool shop, and Pop sold you a hammer with a smile. Like I don't subscribe to that. I know why you're there. I know why I'm here. And if I don't get it back from you, I don't force it on you. And I know people, and I have people in my life. I'll just say, my mom's a great example. She's a very nice person, very social butterfly when she's out. But so if you're walking Mando and you're on a walking path and you have your headphones in, maybe you don't even have sunglasses on, but you're walking Mando. If Mando goes over to my mother and engages her, you might have an interaction of, she might say, "Oh, how old's your dog?" And you might pull your headphones out and you have an interaction, and it's fine. But she doesn't do that. She will stop you and get in front of you and be like, "I want to talk to your dog." And my mind, she's like, see, I'm just very friendly. I'm like, no one asked for that interaction. Mando and Alden did not ask for that. He might be really depressed because Stephen Colbert lost his job and he just needs to go for a walk because his buddy Ken told him to. Okay. He might let him have that walk. And I have this neighbor across the street who has the big giant American flag that he brings out on very specific days that aren't all national holidays. You know what days they are when he brings them out to make a point. And I have seen that dude go on the porch and someone walk by his house and he'll be like, hello. And they'll be like, hi. And I'll be like, no one does this anymore. We're not friendly anymore. We're not friendly. And I've been behind him in a line at a hardware store. And I watched him force so much banter on the worker. He's a problem. So I want to make it clear, Alden, I'm not just yelling at Gen Z. I don't force it. I'm curious about, in that situation, like, we're just being human, man. And so if I don't get that in return, I'm not going to force it on you, but I do think you're losing a little bit of experiencing life. And that's the only boomer take I have on it. But I put it at your feet. I'm wondering, have you run into it? And also, I don't want to get into your job. I know you have a job that you don't love. And I'm sure there's interactions that you're fine with, and there's interactions that you're like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, and I, historically, at all jobs that I've had that have been public-facing, I am, to the surprise of nobody, a menace. Like, I am an absolute menace. I do not subscribe to the notion that because you work with a customer that makes you lesser, which I think is an American idea that spins out of the false American notion that the customer is always right, which is another phrase that we've bastardized over time because I'm wrong, but it originated as the customer is always right in matters of taste. That's what it originally meant. It is not that the customer is actually always right, but we've accepted that, and we have turned.
I agree with that. The
public-facing worker, usually in service or retail or food, to a second-class citizen. And I'm usually extremely on their side, just in general. We talked before on other episodes of the show about how I don't send food back, neither do you. It needs to be so wrong for me to even bring it up, you know? But yeah, like, I think that, to your point, I do think that there is some, you should be open to being surprised, you know, like if there's something interesting about, like, I would encourage all youngins that are working right now, like, to maybe at least sometimes, like, ask an interesting question, you know, you might make your own day go by faster. So I think that there is, like, that element of it that they don't realize, that there is a way to get through it, like, just on a survival level.
Yes.
But in general, I think older generations, whether that's millennials or X or boomers, getting upset at Z for it is just, that to me is just like forgetting that it's always been that. Like, Gen X,
I agree.
You guys popularized the who gives a fuck work.
Yeah.
Whether that
you're welcome. By the way, you're welcome.
Whether that's in Empire Records, whether that's in High Fidelity.
The man had horrible taste.
Yeah, either the who gives a fuck type worker or the we know more than you and have better taste than you worker.
Yeah. Some great stuff in here. Troy says, sounds like another made-up news story by disgruntled boomer conspiracy theorists. I kind of agree with that. Jared says, lack faith in the system because we all know we're getting effed. Yeah, but yes, but that's my perspective on it is, I'm paying $13 for a burrito that used to be $6. You are making 10. Let's just kind of live for a little bit. But again, I want to make it clear, because producer Steve called me a Nixon era boomer yesterday. Steve knows he did. He knows he did. He'll deny it here in chat, but he knows he did. I do not force it. When I get in that Uber, I go, hey, how you doing? Thanks for picking us up. And if that's the only thing I say, that's the only thing I need to say. But I've had conversations about a dude coming over from Haiti and his family being stuck over there. I've had those and that. So I don't force it. I'm with you on that. I do think. But Plume brings up something. He says, note that the perceived over-friendliness of Americans, especially in the service industry, is a cliche of the rest of the world. So we got some UKers in here. Small sample size for me. I'm not an expert, but 5 days in London, right? Like, the restaurant experience was really different for me. They absolutely did not give two shits. And it was off-putting to me. Not wrong. It was just off-putting. I didn't know what to do with it yet.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
it was different over there. It's different in Germany. You know, the tipping is not an expectation in a lot of these places. Japan was very different in that way. But that mutual respect is so palpable that it has a different sort of kindness to it. I think in general, I have a similar approach to you where it's like I will always give the, hey, how you doing, or how's your day going? And if they're just like, you know, good, and it's a one word answer, then I'm like, oh, good to hear, and you just move on. Like I don't need that. This just feels to me like this feels to me like the sequel to the quiet quitting conversation that went around.
Good point.
Everybody was like, are the younger generations quiet quitting? And it's like, oh, you mean doing the description of the job? Like knowing that they're going to be, knowing that doing extra doesn't get you dick. Like,
yeah. And say, okay, Maddie Gutter says, we don't care. Just order and go about your day. Yeah, and that's why we beat you in a war, Maddie. All right, Charlie says it is better. There's a falseness and captivity behind your system, which makes me uncomfortable. All right, see? When Charlie comes over here, he's like, that waiter talked to me too much. I don't care.
Yeah.
Be interesting. I'm curious. It spun off yesterday into, you know, I get a little, I want people to I want to say this carefully. I want people to work for it, but not at those jobs. Like those jobs shouldn't be above your life. And you should not be missing important moments because of that. But I think if you want something, you want to be a rock star, you want to be a podcaster, you want to be a comic, you want to be an accountant, when you find that thing, that's the thing I want you to sacrifice other things for. But this shit, no. And so I'm on the side. I'll stare with you. How about that?
That's true. That's a good point. It is about tiers. It is about, again, not to say that certain jobs are lesser. I don't want to make that sound like the point.
Talking about security for 17 years. People laughed at me to my face.
Yeah, people just, they don't respect anybody that they perceive as not doing something cool, you know. But that's very American too. But like there is a level of you know, in broadcast media or in the arts or whatever, any realm that we've worked in where it's like that same like who gives a fuck attitude like on a set or in a recording studio or in an on-air studio, like that starts to piss me off way more than it ever does in customer service, because customer service, I know that there's a 98% likelihood that worker is being exploited in some way, actively or just by design. Whereas, you know, when you have a TikTok influencer on your podcast and they're just like, you know, not really actually paying attention to you, or they're just looking down the entire time, or they'll say on air, I just don't really have anything to say about that. Then it's just like, then why the fuck are you here? Like that's what pisses me off, because the social contract is such that we're making something, we're talking about something, we're being active about something.
We're performing.
The social contract is not there and should not be there in customer service jobs. The service is that I provided it for you and the job got done. You asked for burger, you received burger. That's the service. The service is not, you know, some poor girl trying to pay for her classes at community college, having to make this divorced ass bitch feel like more of a man while he works on his all flats.
I agree with that. I really agree. I want people to understand. That's America. I want people. 898 for him says, have you ever been to a non-English speaking restaurant? The service is more direct like that. Brady, you don't want me at a non-English speaking restaurant. I become the most annoying white guy in the world, where I just speak loudly and slower like an idiot. We're like thinking you don't understand me when literally you're just like this dumb guy. Brady, you have to take me. We have to go to a Chinese restaurant, buddy. Like I want you to show.
There was that great video. I wish I knew the guy's name. It came out a few years ago. You could Google it really easily if anyone wants to find it. It's like, you know, the guy's perfect Yelp formula for finding the best Chinese restaurants, where he's like, it has to be 3.5 stars, not 3, not 4, 3.5 stars, because he's like, you want the service, you want them to be rude to you. You don't want to feel wanted. And that tells you that the food quality is going to be really high because they're focused on the right things.
Okay, so you see, I was just talking. I had my favorite Thai restaurant was around the corner from me, recently closed, and I'd only order from it. But occasionally, Grace and I would go in there, and we'd be like, "It's really when you go in there, it's kind of mean." Like we're kind of we started but the food was good, so I like this. First, general question, Dylan. To have a comedy show next weekend? Not next weekend, but this weekend. I have two shows: Saturday night 7 p.m., Sunday night 5 p.m. Next weekend, I will be having a slumber party with a good friend of mine who is in medical need of help. So I'll be hanging out with a buddy. Charlie, Maddie, they never bring up the War of 1812. Look, let me tell you something. The War of 1812. You burned one building. You came. What? Did you win? We're still here, buddy. We rebuilt it, and now we have our own king in it. Okay, you didn't win nothing.
Yeah, maybe you guys should have finished the job low key.
Maybe. Tully says before you go, Ken. I've heard Del Taco is a pickle taco. Would you try this, Tully? Let me tell you something. I love you, Tully, and I will have a pickle taco just for you. I will tickle the pickle at Del Taco. I'll do it. Is that true?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I like the notion of that. I'm not sure if I'm a fan.
David says maybe we will. Maybe we will. All right.
Taco.
I think that's it. I think that's it for me. What do you have? By the way, I would have closed up the jet. I'm fascinated by it. I do think it's slightly overblown. The quiet quitting is a great thing to bring up. I don't think I've experienced it. I'm going to keep my eyes open and see if I experienced it. And I'll say this. This morning I went to breakfast with the great Hal Lublin, and I was very self-conscious at the restaurant, Alden. I was because they were all youngers. They were all youngins, Utes, serving me, and I was very self-conscious. I found myself being almost rude because I was afraid I was going to be perceived as a boomer.
Well, there's a higher... it's going to sound like a joke, but I mean it very seriously, and I feel it in my own soul. There's a higher bar that older white men have to clear nowadays, which they probably think that there is in other ways that they're wrong about, but there is, because there's always just like, it's just hard to be a white guy these days. You can't say anything. I don't mean that. I don't mean those guys. But I will say, when I'm at the day job and I'm at my desk and I have to deal with somebody that comes in, and if he looks like he's a white guy over the age of like 40, then I immediately, especially because of where I live, I'm immediately like, oh my God, this motherfucker, I swear. Like I immediately start in my mind like
the negative spot.
He's gonna say something about wokeness. He's gonna
right.
I work with this one younger woman who is of Southeast Asian descent. Guy walks in, starts asking her like where she's from and stuff, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ Almighty! Like it sends me into such a rage. So like white guys, y'all, they have to be fantastic. So if anything, I think that you should go in there and start dropping. First of all, bring your beanie. Right. I know you're hiking, but bring your beanie like in your back pocket. When you get there, throw the beanie on, and then like when the waitress comes over and is like, "Hey, what can I get for you?" You could just, you give your order, but then like, let your ringtone go off, and maybe your ringtone is Pink Pony Club. Like you need to set an environment that says you're cool. Like
I'm over it.
Create a cool vibe. Paint your nails.
It's become our podcast theme. I'm cool. I'm hip. Maddie and Charlie they're still talking about the war. Charlie says, Maddie, let them win. We'll just go to the Oasis reunion and they can enjoy the military parade. F you, Charlie. Addie's here. Hey, Addie's been on vacation. Hi, Addie. I had to explain neurodivergent to my boomer dad yesterday. Also to tell him cloud seeding didn't cause floods in Texas. Oh, yeah.
Cloud seeding?
I'm still more worried about the boomers than I am Gen Z. Even if they stare at me.
It's real bad.
Even if they just stare.
I know you addressed the should the voting age be lowered? I'm blathering yesterday, which what
do you think?
See pros and cons for.
Right.
My first angry little lefty opinion is if America is so comfortable with 16-year-olds getting shot in school, then those 16-year-olds should be able to vote to maybe not have that. There are things about the way that we treat them. Like if a 16-year-old girl who gets assaulted should have to carry a baby to term, she should be able to vote. So it's there are those elements of it. However, I've seen some 16-year-olds talk about Star Wars and it's y'all are stupid sometimes. So I see both.
Yeah.
I see both sides of it. But
Yeah.
the reason I brought it up then is because if that's what it takes to offset the boomer vote somehow,
Right.
then you might have to. Yeah. Dorina said, "Do the Gen Z stare again." Hey, I was thinking. I just wanted to order. So I'll have a number 1. If you could put cheese on that, that'd be great. And what did you? She'll take a number 2. Do you guys have any? It's the aggressive, like slamming every single button on the screen too. Yeah, it's bad. But you know what? In their head in that moment, they're like, I'm gonna kill myself. Like it's the most dark, depraved thought. Because that's one thing I jump immediately to. If I have to deal with someone I don't like in a work environment, the first thought in my head is usually like, I'm gonna blow my brains out. Like I just immediately.
Sure. I get it. All right. Yeah. In the end, let them vote. It might be, we might have Joe Rogan as president and Theo Von as vice president as write-in candidates, but let's take our chances.
Look, I think that the new Superman, it's been said the new Superman might save young people. Too early to tell, but there have been there's a
too early to tell.
Viral. That was a picture of the new Superman smiling, and it was like some young guy's Twitter account, and it was like, I helped an old lady with her groceries today, and it was a picture of Clark, and someone was like, is Superman gonna save this generation of young men? Maybe. Could it be? Could it be?
Could be. All right, we're out of here. Next Friday I will be here for the show, but I'll leave shortly after. So we'll do some fun next week. Hey, thanks everyone for being here. We appreciate you. Sometimes we're just here chatting, working through things, talking about the world, figuring it out, and we love you all. Do be kind, even if you don't want to be friendly. Just be kind, right? And also, vote with your heart. I don't know.
Stand with Colbert.
Stand with Colbert. I look forward to his YouTube channel. That's it. We'll see you. We'll do the thing. All right. Bye.